Hi there, everybody. This is Krug with QueueTimes here live at E3 with Todd Howard himself. How's it doing, man?
Great.
We're here to talk about the Fallout 76 beta. Do you have any maybe release date info you want to give us?
No release date as of yet.
But it's very clearly going to be before the game releases.
The
beta. We're talking about the beta. It's going to be before the game releases.
I mean, it's gonna exist.
Do you know how betas work?
Yes. Hey everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Indigo.
And I'm super excited for this game. There's absolutely no way that this is an unbiased piece. Just keep that in mind.
And if you can't tell, we're here to talk about Fallout 76 and all of the information that we know as of right now.
Yes. First of all, what is Fallout 76? It is the next Fallout game, which is a prequel to all other Fallout games, set a mere 25 years after the vaults closed, and it's coming out November 14th, 2018, so far, as of now. Hashtag no pushbacks, hashtag give me my game.
Fallout 76 is going to be a survival game, which means food is very, very important. You're going to get hungry, you're actually going to have to eat. Food does not stay around. It's not like, Skyrim where you have 400 wheels of cheese.
Yes.
Okay, I eat all the cheese. I eat all of the cheese.
Before we go ahead on the rest of this, we actually should talk about the No Clips documentary that they did.
Yeah, it's really, really worth your time if you are into this franchise at all. The link for that is in the show notes too. We also have a bunch of information about the camp system.
With camps.
Kind of equivalent to the settlement system in Fallout 4. You're gonna be able to build anywhere on the map except for certain areas that are gonna be locked just to prevent griefing. Like for example, you're not gonna be able to build right outside the vault wall. The hashtag internet people suck. We've known that the Fallout 76 map is going to be very large for quite a while. What we haven't known is the player count for an individual server, which seems to be hovering between 12 and 24 or maybe 32 I've heard. It seems like it's not set in stone currently, but that having been said, it's quite a small number of people for such a large space. If you do happen to build your base where somebody else's base resides, and both of you try to sign in at the same time, whichever one of you signs in second is gonna just have their base packed up into what's called a blueprint, so that you can just go and place it somewhere else easily. You can also blueprint your base of your own volition, just kind of like pack it up and move, which also I think is a necessary mechanic. It's, a huge world, and I think the devs probably want you to get out there and explore that huge world.
Yeah, versus like some of the other like survival games where like you'll build a settlement in one location, use up all the resources there, and then move to a new location.
And just abandon all that other stuff.
And that means like other players can't build near it. It kind of kills the world out slowly but surely.
Sure.
So having the ability to lift up and put everything away to move to another location, one, saves you as a player time, but it also is a really nice use of resources as well. But you know what I do find interesting?
What?
The fact that they named a location after you.
What location did they name after me, Indigo?
Toxic Valley.
That was funny. Nobody laughed. There's a lot of different ways to change the way your character feels. The special system's gonna be coming back and everything that implies. There are gonna be something called perk cards now, which functions similarly to the way perks have functioned in Fallout previously, except for you still get, to pick one every time you level, but you can only have a finite number of them active at a time. And so you can, I assume, have different builds for different tasks, like I'm going out into the wasteland, I'm gonna be the shooter build, or I'm gonna be the mechanic if I'm at my base or whatever. I don't know if it's going to be that flexible, because I think if they make it too flexible, it just kind of makes the choices meaningless, sort of.
Well, maybe you have, let's just say they go, okay, you have a limit of 5 perk cards, right?
Yeah.
And you have a deck or, the possibility of 100, right?
Sure.
You can go into a situation, be like, okay, well, we've adventured there before. We had problems where we didn't have enough heals.
Sure.
So then you, move those perk cards into your character's, slots of 5 and go into that situation. I mean, MMOs have that right now.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, WoW can, your priest
you have
can
3 different specs, and then you can gear each one differently and stuff like that. I get where they're coming from. I just hope they pull it off and keep the Fallout feel. We also have mutations as a new mechanic that affects the way your character plays. Mutations are going to kind of be a gain a little, lose a little mechanic, where if you get a certain amount of radiation or under certain other circumstances that we're not sure of, you'll modify your character in a way that's both helpful and detrimental. So you'll get like, you move 10% slower, but you swing 10% faster or do 10% more damage or something. And that is just an example right out of my ass. Now the big piece that's causing all of the kind of excitement and all the controversy is multiplayer. So we know a bunch of things about how multiplayer is going to work, but we also still have a ton of questions unanswered about multiplayer. One, you're going to need the Bethesda launcher to play the game. We actually did a video on the Bethesda launcher back when it was a husk of nothingness.
But the problem is that it feels like most companies are now having their own launchers.
Yep.
Epic Games has their own, EA has garbage.
There aren't going to be any human NPCs in the game. Every human is going to be a player. There's a new kind of sub-race of ghouls called the Scorched, which are halfway between feral ghouls and intelligent ghouls. They're intelligent enough to use guns, basically. It's the writer's tool to get themselves out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, because they decided, like, because you and I had this conversation, because I thought it was that there was going to be no human NPC like quest givers, but because I was like, oh, the raiders are clearly going to be in this, it's not. Like, it's kind of the idea that you, as well as the other players in that world, are the raiders.
Yeah, that does bring up the question of quests, though. How are we going to be getting them? The answer to that question is kind of boring. It's you just find them like in places, like either in terminals or in holotapes or magazines or robots. They mentioned that they used a lot of robots, which is, you know, fine, I guess.
Yeah.
That is still in the game.
Yeah, that's weird.
And when you use it, it's going to pause the server for
No,
no, it's not going to do that. It's actually going to be real time now, so you're not going to get any sort of time distortion. I'm really interested to see how that works and if it breaks the game. If VATS is the only way to play that game because of
the crazy thing is that those statistics, like those numbers, are going to constantly be changing.
Sure.
Like based off of the player and where that other player is. So it's like even if you line up a headshot and then they tuck behind a tree.
Yeah, because again, time hasn't even slowed.
Exactly. So it's like they go, okay, we're going to move up to a headshot. They move behind a tree. Are you then going to disengage from that and like go to the next target because technically you don't see that target, or is it going to show an outline behind the tree? Like there's so much to it that I don't know if it's going to be super successful or like
super powerful or just super weak.
Or like just completely pointless.
Regarding PvP, we don't know exactly how it's going to work yet because Bethesda doesn't really know how it's going to work yet. They've made a lot of not necessarily conflicting claims, but like very wishy-washy ones. A lot of statements like if that's how PvP ends up working, or if that's how PvP ends up working. And it also seems like something that they're willing to adjust over time, because they mentioned that they had a lot of levers and knobs that they can adjust if the game doesn't feel the way they want it to the player base.
I don't know how death is going to work in the game. Like,
it's no consequence death.
Yeah.
You just die. It basically you lose time. I mean, the person who kills you has to get some sort of benefit, right?
Yeah.
Or else that'd be silly.
Because even in their trailers, they were talking about like certain people like beating up on other groups and then them teaming up together and dropping a nuke on that base.
Maybe you get something from the dead player, but it's not out of their inventory. You perceive like you looted a pistol and some money from them, but they don't actually lose those items. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of nuking other players, endgame's going to be very interesting. Effectively, you need to gather a set of nuclear launch codes that come in kind of pieces. Judging by the way that they're talking about it, it's going to be difficult for one person to do that themselves. And so you team up with a group that has the pieces that you don't have, find a silo, stick the pieces in the machine, and pick anywhere on the map to nuke, presumably aside from certain areas like the vault.
The starting
zone.
zone.
Because that would be insane, especially because of the next part. So you nuke that area, it becomes an irradiated wasteland, and in that wasteland spawns like high-level endgame mobs. And the idea is that players with nukes will nuke an area, go to that area and farm the mobs so that you're creating the endgame zone for yourself. Like you'd be nuking somebody and basically sticking them right next to an irradiated endgame area and just giving them free access to your mobs. And two, like you're not going to hit them because it gives them a warning. Like it seems like it gives you long enough of a warning that you can just bounce. Well, and here's the thing about the camp too, as far as it pertains to nukes, they've stated that it doesn't actually destroy your base. It damages your base. They didn't really say if that entails anything as far as like how the buildings work. Like for example, will turrets still fire? But they mentioned it's going to be easy for you to build your base back up again. So is it even worth it to like pack up your camp and run away?
Well,
just leave it there, run away yourself, and then come back and like repair everything.
But that's the thing is, if they launch the nuke on your base, and
it's going to be in the dead center, and you have to run through the whole end game thing. And then are those even going to be soloable?
And if you get into
creatures?
Your base, like manage that you get the radiation may have not destroyed it, but those like death claws and like high level creatures might be attacking your base and destroying it. I think that there's a benefit because they specifically said bombing your enemies and specifically talked about other players.
Yeah.
So I think there is a benefit to it.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be. You can't put something like that in the game and then nerf it to pieces, to like unusable when it comes to other players, because that just doesn't feel like what it should be.
Yeah, I'm going to nuke right next to my base so that I can just go attack and then
That's
go
what
get
I'm going to do.
supplies.
I'm going to nuke my base dead center. Like, just nuke dropped right onto my base, then run through with like my team protecting me, and then repair my base real quick, and then fight from the center outward. And then like be able to run back to home base.
I'm gonna call it right now.
That's not gonna work?
Not gonna work.
I bet you're right. Gonna try it anyways. All of that is really exciting for us. There are some people that are less excited, and I think they might have some valid reasons.
What? People are upset on the internet? No!
No, you're right. We're wrong. There's actually no controversy at all. This game has 5 stars, and so does every other game in existence, even GameGorgon. One point of view is that this game does have microtransactions. There are going to be microtransactions. You are going to be able to purchase items in game. It's not going to be a pay-to-win model according to Bethesda, and everything that you're able to purchase with microtransactions is going to be achievable without spending real money. No gate, no pay to win. It should be okay. That having been said, people are thinking, well, if the microtransaction model that they incorporate here does really well, who's to say they won't just incorporate that into all of their games? Like maybe where it shouldn't belong. Maybe Starfield, for example.
I think automatically projecting that onto this situation before seeing Bethesda, like, because as of right now, as far as I'm aware, the only sort of microtransaction they have is on Fallout Shelter. While it did assist you and make the game easier, it wasn't mandatory to play or succeed at that game.
Yep.
It wasn't a PvP game. As of right now, they have made microtransactions in-game that haven't been so detrimental that it makes the game bad.
Yeah, they don't have the EA track record.
Exactly. So as of right now, like at least for me, I'm on the positive end of that. That like, okay, you're planning on bringing microtransactions in. I understand that that's a part of the industry now. Like, and you need to continue to make money to make better and bigger games.
Yes.
I'm in the cautious zone, but I'm not going to immediately assume.
Oh yeah, and neither am I. I think staying in the like receptive mode until they do something bad.
Yeah.
And then going full like, yo, I'm out. Like this is not in any way fun. Like if they do like, oh yeah, you can buy a Fat Man for $10. I'm out. Like that's not fun.
And like mine's not even a spectrum. Mine's like if you continue to do good, you're in a cautious zone. You do bad once, you're always in that like, oh, you fucked up. Like, all right, everyone, head down in the comments and let us know what about this being a multiplayer game gets you excited.
There's absolutely no way that this is an unbiased piece. Just keep that in mind.
Is it just the fact that you get to play with your friends, or it's the fact that it's Bethesda's like first launch into it? You guys let us know down there. While you guys are down there, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can get access to the exclusive bell icon.
Made of gold.
After you guys do that, why don't you go over to Twitter and have a conversation with us. You can hit me up on Twitter at IndigoQT.
And I'm Krug. You can get me at KrugQT on Twitter. You can also reach both of us at _QueueTimes. We have been GameGorgon. We will see you guys tomorrow. You can also reach us on Instagram at QueueTimes. Whoops. Da 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 da.